What's up, everybody? Dom Farrow here, back again with Turf Watch. Week 13 of the NFL season is here. Things are getting to that point where we're finally figuring out who are the contenders, who are not the contenders, and these games are just as important getting to the end of the season here. So, Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cardinals this week. 6.5-point favorites in this one, which is the largest they've been favorites all season, if I'm not mistaken. Over under 41, which is also pretty high compared to the last few weeks for the Steelers. But as you know, things have been looking different ever since the Steelers fired Matt Canada last week. They had a season high 421 yards. Kenny threw for a season high 278 yards. The offense just had new life to them. They were just looking good. It was just days after Matt Canada was fired, and it looks like a completely new offense. Last week on the show, I was pretty critical of Kenny Pickett. I wasn't sure if changing the offense coordinator would really change this offense around, but I have been proven wrong. He looked completely different. He could actually throw the ball in the middle of the field, and he's getting some of that confidence back. So I'm super excited for this week. The Steelers are back at home here, 6.5-point favorites, which is huge. We're going to take a look around this week and see what people are thinking about these lines and seeing if the public is on the Steelers side or if they're leaning towards the Cardinals. Now, early in the season, you might have looked at this game on the schedule and you would have just wrote it off as a win for the Steelers, but they've been looking better as the weeks have progressed since they've got Kyler Murray back. Patrick Peterson even said about the quarterback for the Cardinals, he said he's starting to get back in his old ways, which is a pretty dangerous sign. He's very talented, one of the most talented college quarterbacks I've ever seen. NFL, he's been a little shaky, but he's definitely got talent where he can expose the defense. So Kyler Murray in this one, it's going to be interesting to see what the defense can do against him. So it has been a while since the Steelers have played the Cardinals. Kyler Murray was the quarterback, but he was a rookie last time, and the quarterback was Duck Hodges. Kareth White led the Steelers in rushing in that game. Deontay Johnson had 162 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Joe Hayden had 2 interceptions. TJ Watt had 1. There were 5 sacks in the games and 2 fake punts. So this was a long time ago, but not too much has changed. A lot of similar faces here. Kareth White leading the Steelers in rushing is pretty crazy. Deontay having 162 yards. We'd love to see that on Sunday. But I think the thing that we're all looking forward to is this rushing game and seeing it progress. Najee Harris has looked fantastic the last couple weeks. Jaylen Warren is looking just as good. I think they have potential to be a dynamic duo in the backfield, and I think we're just going to see this more and more as the season progresses. Now, the big news for the Steelers this week, and this is absolutely massive, Minkah Fitzpatrick is expected to be back on Sunday. He's basically confirmed at this point. So this is huge for the Steelers. You're having Cam Hayward, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and TJ Watt all in the same field for what seems like the first time in months. So this is going to be big for this defense, a defense who has been playing excellent these past few weeks. They've been doing better than the Browns, better than most of these teams that people said would be the best defense in the league. The Steelers have been that these past couple weeks. All right, we have the NFL game day preview picks all going with the Steelers. This is the first time I've seen this all week. Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid. They know that this team is different without Matt Canada. 10 for 10 here on the Steelers' favor. Maurice Jones-Drew, who's been the best at predicting the games this year for them, he has the Steelers winning in a shutout, 23-0. A lot of low-scoring games here, but also a lot where the Steelers are covering the spread. They're buying in on the Vegas stuff. They think that the Steelers team is true. They're legit. There's a couple guys on here who think it'll be a little closer. Mark Sessler and another guy combining to have them at 27-25. That'll be a tight one, but high scoring. You got 16-13. But again, all 10 in the Steelers' favor here, which is kind of scary because I feel like when this happens sometimes, this is what people would call a trap game. I don't see it happening this week. I'd love to see them break 20, 25 points, maybe even 30 points. That's what I'm hoping for. But a win is most important. I don't see a shutout happen, but I do see us keeping them under 15 points here. People in the comments saying, this is usually a game we lose, but with our new revived team and the offense finally rolling, I say we hang 25 plus on them with the W. This guy says Kenny balls out with 220 yards and a touchdown. This guy says most think we need to score more than 16 this week. I don't think that's necessarily important. Some 19-17 Steelers. This guy says, I fear we'll lose by 2 scores. That would be very surprising. We probably finna lose. We always find a way to lose against bad teams. Not always, but it's happened before in the past. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, these upcoming games to finish up the regular season, super pivotal, super important. The Steelers right now are about a 75% chance of making the playoffs with the way things are looking to unfold. But these next 4 games, I think all Steelers fans should be expecting 4-0. You got this Cardinals team who hasn't won too many games this season. They don't have the best roster, kind of in a rebuild phase. Next week, you have the Patriots on Thursday Night Football, who are 100% in a rebuild phase. I hope you all saw that graphic Thursday Night Football where they showed TJ Watt, and because the Patriots have no one, it was just versus Bill Belichick. So I hope Bill's been training to block TJ Watt, because that's the defense player of the year right there, and he's going to tear up that Patriots offense. But the week after that, you're going on the road again to Indianapolis to face the Colts, who right now are that 7th seed in the playoffs. Could be a very important game to just give yourself some insurance, make sure you're not fighting for that last spot in the final week. And then you have Bengals again with Jake Browning, a team that you beat, I'd say pretty convincingly. They weren't scoring enough, but I think on paper it's clear that the Steelers were a better team. And then you wrap things up with the Ravens, Week 18, which could be for the division, or it could be a game where the Ravens aren't even playing their starters, and it's kind of just a formality at that point to get the season done and maybe add another win to the total, but who knows. But anyways, the most important thing is these next 4 games are easy on paper. These are games that the Steelers should win. Andrew Filipponi, the person who tweeted out this, he says, I know we all expect 4-0, but I would honestly sign up for 3-1. That would clinch a playoff spot. It would clinch a playoff spot most likely. Personally, I would be much more happier with 4-0 than 3-1. I think these games are very important as far as being a playoff contender. If you're dropping one of these this late in the season, and we know how good the Steelers are in December and January, if you're dropping these ones now, it's concerning when you got to face the Chiefs later down in the road in the playoffs potentially. So I don't know. I'd like to see a 4-0 here and do it pretty convincingly. People in the replies here, Patriots and Colts both worry me. Colts worry me a little bit. Patriots, I just don't see it happening this year. They're just not in it the same as they used to be. This guy says, I see 4 losses there, no cap. This guy says, there's 0 chance they go 0-4, book it. I could see 3-1 at the least. If they go 2-2 here, something needs to change again. And trust me, you know the Steelers fans will be letting them know about it. Here's something I just want to give a little attention that I've been seeing some more recognition for this guy right here. Isaac Seumalo hasn't allowed a sack since week 6 of the 2022 season, not the 2023 season, dating all the way back to last year. This is a guy that I had my eyes on all year. I agreed when the decision was made that he was signing. I thought it was a fantastic one. He's been fantastic. I know people week 1 clown me for putting him on the thumbnail for the video, but he's been looking great. He's been awesome. The offensive line in general has been looking really good this season. A lot better than we thought they would. Another guy who's getting a lot of disrespect early in the season, who's finally people are coming around on, giving him his flowers. This is Najee Harris, a guy who I heard was called Trent Richardson 2.0. Well, that guy, he's had 11-plus runs of 15-plus yards, which is tied for first in the NFL. He has 7 runs of 20-plus yards, which is tied for first. He has 2.2 yards after contact per carry, tied for first. 312 yards after contact, 4th. 19 broken tackles, 4th. 7.5 carries per broken tackle, 2nd. This guy said it's his best season yet. I'd argue his rookie season was a little better just because of the threat he was in the passing game. But right now, he's been looking awesome. I really have no complaints about the guy. I wish people would stop trying to push the Jaylen Warren stuff. This is the first-round running back. There's a reason he's first round. And Jaylen Warren's been great. He's great when Najee needs to take a break. But this is the number 1 guy, and it should be obvious. I don't know if this is more a testament about the shakiness of running backs in the NFL lately, or if this is just showing that Najee Harris is in that upper echelon of running backs. I'm not really sure, but I do think that the disrespect for him needs to end. Now, this one doesn't really relate to this week's game or playoff seeding or anything. I just thought this was insane. Mad Dog from First Take, he put up his top 5 sports rivalries this week. Number 1, Yankees Red Sox. All right, fine. I can probably agree with that. Number 2, Lakers Celtics. Makes sense. Number 3, Raiders Chiefs. I don't understand this one at all. Maybe I'm too young. Maybe there was stuff in the past that made this rivalry more than it is. But to put it above Steelers Ravens or even Steelers Browns, Steelers Bengals, I think that's insane. I think there are so many better NFL rivalries. Raiders Chiefs doesn't even sniff the top. And I think Steelers Ravens is number one by far. What is your number two greatest NFL sports rivalry? Personally, even though it's been a bit lopsided, I would say it's Packers Bears or maybe even Cowboys Eagles. I don't think Raiders or Chiefs is even in the top 10 if I had to go off the top of my head. He finishes off with Duke UNC and Texas Oklahoma. I just thought this was disrespectful. You got to respect the Steelers and their divisional rivalries, especially since the Raiders, they moved to Las Vegas. This isn't the same. This isn't a top 5 sports rivalry. All right, guys, I'm feeling really good about this matchup this week. I think the Steelers walk away with a win. I think they have another 400-plus yard offensive performance. I don't have much to say about this Cardinals fan base. They haven't been talking too much trash. I think the most important thing this week is to get the win. But second most important thing here, which is brought up, is that the Cardinals are one of only 5 NFL teams against whom TJ Watt has not recorded a sack against. So this is the week. It's happening. TJ Watt, 2+ sack performance. I think the Steelers walk away with this one and get the win. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this episode up right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm Dom Farrow. Make sure you're rooting for the Steelers tomorrow because it is a massive game and they need to make the playoffs here and make a push for that 7th Lombardi. So while you're here, make sure you like the video, subscribe to Arthur's channel, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.